Namaste, my name is Arnav and this is Krishna, and we're both with the Western Hindu Students Council, and this is the first episode of our podcast, How to Be Hindu in the West. Now, a lot of times growing up here, I've noticed that it's really hard to stay connected with your roots. I've noticed it's really hard to even get started with being Hindu, and you don't know where to look and where to find things. And today we actually found an expert in Hinduism, Swami Chidananda Puri, to come and talk to us and help us find the right resources and the ways we can get started with being Hindu. So if that's something you've struggled with, this is a great podcast for you to listen to.
Puja Swami Chidananda Puri is a respected Advaita Vedanta scholar and spiritual leader. In 1989, he received a Sannyasana Diksha, and in 1992, he formed the Advaita Ashram in Kolathur, Kerala. He has authored over 60 plus books and is a regular visitor and professor at the University of Calicut and is a member of the Hindu University of USA. Swamiji is an amazing orator. He has talked in 15 plus countries to large crowds, to youth, and all sorts of groups and communities. We are very blessed to have him here today, and we hope you guys enjoy this podcast.
Today with Swamiji, we're going to talk a bit about just essentially some myth busting about common Hindu stigmas. We're going to talk about how to actually access the resources, and we're going to talk about just, how to be a proper Hindu and how to follow your own path and find your own path in life. And it's going to be a great episode, and we hope you guys like it. Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste.
Welcome, Swamiji. Thank you for coming and talking with us.
Namaste.
Before we get to any of the topics of the podcast, how is Swamiji doing?
Fine. We are always well and good. Always well, good and happy.
No reason otherwise. Could Swamiji tell us what Swamiji is currently doing in North America?
Actually, almost every year I am coming here, especially in USA, to deliver lectures, taking classes on Vedanta and Sanatana Dharma. I am focusing more on interactive sessions that will help the people understand the freedom of thought, scientific approach, and logical thinking. Our Shastras, that is the scriptures of Bharat, gives to society. So, of course, there will be different topics on which an initial talk will be given, but more importance is given to question and answer session. So, I am seeing actively people are involving, being a part of the program, especially when they understand, or when we try to make them understand the difference between religion and dharma. So, that we are doing.
So Swamiji's talk, what target audience are you mainly speaking for? Are you targeting youth, or is it just Hindus in general? Where does Swamiji focus his attention?
That depends upon the organizers who are organizing the program. Because I am coming here as invited by different organizations. So how they are working, so the program will be. For example, if they are inviting youngsters and giving importance to youngsters, and more than that, knowing the language of youngsters, that is most important. So then young people will come. Otherwise, of course, thinking a Swami is coming from Bharat, so it will be some talks regarding religion, rituals, and all these things. So elders will go. So it all depends on who are organizing the program. Because I am not organizing here. But when it is in Bharat, there also a program organized by Advaita Ashram. We focus mainly on youngsters. So every year we are having a 1 week-long lecture, public lecture in Calicut, and another 1 week-long public lecture in Palakkad. So around 2,000 people will be coming and attending, and more than 60% are youth. That we are organizing. You see, you got the difference?
So, Swamiji, could you please tell us about a day in your life and the community and the spiritual work that you do? And if you see any common patterns in the people you see and how they deal with the things that are happening? like if you go to in there's a community, there's a common pattern. You see the youth are dealing with specific things a specific way. Do you see anything like that?
See, nowadays, everywhere in the world, we are having the same facilities, and the social mind is molded more or like alike. For example, earlier days, there were much difference. But nowadays, in my opinion, I'm not seeing that much difference in that thinking pattern or physical facilities. For example, we are having internet, high-speed internet here, and in Bharat also. You go to Africa, there also you will get that. What I mean is that the social mind and social psyche is being molded everywhere nowadays alike. And of course, differences are there, but that change is happening slowly. So when we address the society, wherever we are, we must try to touch the heart of the society, touch the heart of individuals. That is common everywhere. You see, there is no west and east.
Yeah.
The globe, you cannot see a demarcating line. Last day I was speaking in a public audience in, I think it was in Boston. Then I said, you people say America, Canada, all are Western countries. But I cannot accept that. This time I came from Bharat via Singapore. So America is Eastern for me, not Western.
Yeah.
See, all these are relative things. So human being, our existence, and then the mind, intellect and all instruments, all these are working in the same way everywhere. So there is no that much difference or that I'm not feeling that. So whenever we work in this society, of course, the social factors are there, geopolitical differences are there.
Yeah.
All this we have to address. So in that way we have to work.
When Swamiji talks about Swamiji's work in Bharat and America with organizations like SAGE and with Swamiji's ashrams, how did Swamiji get involved into monasticism and this life of being Swami? What convinced you to join or take this lifestyle?
That's a good question. There are two parts, the when and the why in your question. See, when I was a small boy of say 3.5 years age or 4 years age, in the household life, if mother asked you do some tiny works, of course, to children they will assign small tiny works. You bring that spoon or you bring that small vessel like that. Then this boy would say, no, I cannot. I won't do that. Then his father used to ask, why you cannot? Is it Brahma Vidya? Is it Brahma Vidya?
What is Brahma Vidya?
Brahma Vidya is Vedanta. So then this child used to sit at a place and think, oh, Brahma Vidya is that much difficult. So I will learn that. Let others learn other things. I will study this Brahma Vidya. A child of 4 years or so. That age he did not know what Brahma Vidya is. Without that knowledge he was thinking like that. But time passed, joined the school. Now Brahma Vidya nothing. Like any other naughty boys plays and all. But always I was observing the phenomena around us. And such questions were coming. Why it is happening? How fire is burning? How wind is blowing? How a flower is blooming? So many questions. Of course, childish they are. Yeah. But instead of leaving such questions, This child was sitting for hours and hours thinking why it is happening. So when I joined fifth standard, fifth grade, then the science teacher, he noted that child and said, you must learn science only through experiments and physical analysis of the things around you. You will reach at the answer. So at the age of 9 or 10, started a small laboratory in the home, started doing so many experiments, so many alcohol, this acid, alkaline, this, that. How many rooms were ruined by me pouring this acid and all these things. So that was, in that phase, it lasted for 2-3 years. But somehow that phase disappeared. And when I joined 8th standard, somehow started reading. Reading means many branches without any selection, you see. Novel, stories, poems, this, that. So it was a world of books. That also lasted only for 2 or 3 years. Then along with that, so many cinemas. Almost all the day, afternoon, would jump from the class and go to some cinema hall. Like that, it was the routine those days. Then, in those days, it was, after the 10th class, it was pre-degree in India. So when I joined the pre-degree class, it was the first year. Then father, the same father who asked Brahma Vidya, he gave a small booklet, Thus Spake Swami Vivekananda. Small book published by Sri Ramakrishna Mission. So that boy started reading it again and again, some 30 times in one sitting. How it happened, I don't know, I cannot explain that. Then started reading complete books of Swami Vivekananda, complete books of Sister Nivedita, Swami Ranganathanandaji's works, then to Swami Chinmayanandaji's work, Dayanandaji's work, like that. It went on and on. So by the time finished the pre-degree, that is 2 years course, outwardly I was going to school like any other student, but inwardly these Vedanta studies were going on. But even after reading all this, that boy was feeling a missing link somewhere. Something is missing somewhere. So there was a great scholar in those days in Kerala, Swami Mridanandaji. He was a monk of Sri Ramakrishna Much. So he said, oh my boy, to bridge that gap, you will have to learn Shankara Bhashya. Then getting Shankara Bhashya, from where I will get, that was a problem. Another, of course, that so many books in Sanskrit were that much familiar, but Sanskrit language I didn't learn in the traditional way, you see. So it was a problem. But when that requirement came, all the Prasthanatraya Shankara Bhashyas came to me. Big books. It was a wonder. It happened.
It found you.
It came.
Yeah.
And started studying Shankara Bhashya, one by one. Upanishads, all the 10 Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra, and other Prakarana Granthas also. Completed that study by the time I finished degree. That is graduation. Then decided sannyasa is my path. So I entered after getting, not permission, but parents accepted that.
Yeah.
Accepted this fellow will go today or tomorrow. So when that acceptance came, that exit happened.
So Swamiji had a lot of exposure throughout the early parts of Swamiji's life to Vedanta And, even from age 3.5, you said the books and Brahma Vidya and all this. Do you
Is that age only the term Brahma Vidya? What Brahma Vidya was? What Brahma Vidya is that? Yeah.
But does Swamiji believe that youth or children nowadays have the same opportunities that Swamiji had, like a long exposure to really think about Vedanta, the self-realization, why is the world like this? Does Swamiji believe today's youth in this, or today's children have the same opportunities Swamiji had, or was Swamiji sort of blessed or special in that way?
See, there's nothing special in us. I will say opportunities are much more today. Much more. Because in those days, that was the middle part of 1980s. So in those days, it was not easy to access that much books. Today we have the internet. Whichever book you want, you can get from the internet. And so many teachers are taking classes. So you can have many classes, lectures, different types of resources are readily available in the internet now. And the number of ashrams or places of teaching, that also increased very much. And our acharyas, they are moving within the society and teaching now. You see, now we are here in Canada. In and around this area, how many ashrams are there? We are having Chinmaya Mission. We are having Vedanta Society, that is Sri Ramakrishna Mission. We are having Shivananda Ashram here. And we are having the activities of different groups like Sri Sri Ravi Shankar or Jagi Vasudev, like that, so many. So in the present day society, we have immense chance or much opportunity, much higher than what we had earlier. So if you have that thirst to have knowledge, that real feeling to have a quest, then opportunities are much more. And there is no special things, you see. Nothing happens specially to anybody. Because in this world of ours, there is no such a thing as accident. There is no such a thing as accident. For every effect, there is a cause. Only from cause an effect will come. So if we have that real thirst to know, we will get. There's no doubt at all.
So Swamiji, what are some of the reasons or some of the challenges that youth face today that these opportunities, if they take up, will help them in their challenges? And following that, what are the reasons that youth are not driven away from these opportunities, but they're not realizing the opportunities that they have?
That's a very good question. You see, world was like this all the time. So many attractions. Attraction means from another angle it is distraction. So world was always a field of so many attractions and distractions. It was always like that. But now because of the technological advancement, the pace, the speed has gone much higher. That is one factor, I think. And our lifestyle that we have in families, I'm not saying the lifestyle in East or West, because basically I'm not differentiating the globe as East and West. Everywhere it is alike. uh, what you can call a dharmic way of living is, we cannot say it is absent, but some erosion, some deterioration happened in that. Why it happened, you see, in my opinion, this is only an opinion, you can accept or reject. See, when we get many physical amenities, slowly, of course, we will pick up with that.
Yeah.
But if you are getting all on a sudden, there will be a transition period which will last for long. By that period, you will pick up. So we are moving through that transition period, in my opinion. You got the idea?
Yeah.
Because so many technological advancement gave you that much facilities which were unthinkable some 20 years back.
Yeah.
Now we have. So society getting those has not at all psychologically, emotionally and intellectually attuned with that. It will take some time. I am seeing the world is passing through that phase of attuning. So once it happens, of course, science and technology will go further and further, but we will be catching that. See, you go back to 100 years. Then also technological advancement came. For example, there was no books and pens earlier. So then people used to write on palm leaves like that. Then paper came, printing came. Slowly and slowly, this audio media came. So the pace was slow. The society, the individual, the social psyche also adjusted with that. But look back to 10 years or 15 years. That speed is that much tremendous. And society will take a little more time.
So is what Swamiji saying that the rate of that technology has increased and has sped up, that people have sort of fallen behind with this Hindu spirituality? Is this more of a cult? Is this from a lack of clarity of the scriptures, or is it due to misinformation and cultural practices which have confused people's beliefs in Hinduism? Is it from a lack of clarity of philosophy, or is it from culture?
Actually, I didn't talk about Hinduism at all. What we referred is the society in the present day world, how it is going up. It is not a case with Hinduism. It is not a case with Christianity. It is not a case with Islam. Everywhere, because of this change in the society, that is change in the facilities we are having, slowly the society is getting up to that level. And this is a period of transition. And actually this period, if we are studying and teaching the message of Sanatana Dharma, the scientific tempo we are having, the logical thinking our scriptures gave us, and above all, the freedom of thought given to us by the scriptures. Of course, the society will more and more engage in dharmic studies, and we have immense chances, immense opportunities for that. I think you got that.
Yeah.
So there is Sanatana Dharma, the teachings of Sanatana Dharma, nothing is questioned now. The world is more and more accepting it. That we are seeing. I'll tell you one thing. See, basically we are, that's an entirely different subject. Basically we are human beings and we have different faculties. We have the emotional, we have the intellectual, we have the physical, so many. But basically we are thinking beings, questioning beings. We have rational thinking. We will ask questions, the why and why of everything. So here, this is the greatness of Sanatana Dharma, that it always promotes the questioning mind. It is not faith-based. Of course, you must have faith, but it is not faith-based. It always promotes questioning. So now, at this age of this, what you call, people everywhere claim this is an age of scientific temper. It is this age Sanatana Dharma can work more.
Yeah. So, in my personal experience, it seems like every time I do have one of these questions, right? Like, for example, my paycheck flies away. Like, my impulsive buying is really bad. So every time I do have a question on how I can help this, before I can get a deeper answer that might come from Sanatana Dharma, there's so many surface level answers that are like, just stop spending, just this, just that. So why should I ignore the surface level answers and look for a deeper answer?
I didn't follow that. Why?
So why should I not look at the surface level answers and look for a deeper answer to the actual root of my problems when the surface level seemingly solves the problem the same way?
See, when you ask a question, whatever be that question, you will get some superficial answers which are in the surface level, and of course, there will be much deeper realities which we should know. Both this must be there. So you must not sit satisfied with the surface level answers. You must inquire more the why and why of everything. Then you will get, if you are ready to learn our Shastras, you will get answers to all your queries, not from the surface level or a superficial level, but in-depth answers you will get. But for that, the only way is study. That is why, see, the very foundation on which the whole edifice of Sanatana Dharma is built is Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, and Swadhyaya Ma Pramada. That is, speak what is truth, then follow what is Dharma, and learn Shastras daily. So this part, study of Shastras, if you are ready to follow, you will get answers to all the queries, not some superficial this and that, in depth, which will satisfy your mind and intellect. There is no doubt at all.
Thank you, Swamiji. And following that, I would also like to ask, so obviously the purpose of all of our lives is to attain moksha, right? But in this life, how can I find my purpose? And how should we set it so that my purpose is aligned with my career? And what is the dharmic way to find the right career or purpose for me?
See, when we speak about moksha, we must not misunderstand it as something as something we are getting after our death or going somewhere. No, moksha is getting liberated from the clutches of ignorance or transcending all our limitations. All limitations. What are the limitations? We are having so many limitations imposed by ourselves. And the root cause is ignorance. ignorance regarding who am I. So we are identifying ourselves with many, many objects of the world as ourselves, and thereby we are limiting. So, emerging out from these limitations, or when we speak to a common man, we can say getting rid of all sorrows in life. Getting rid of all sorrows in life means realizing the infinite happiness within. That is moksha. That is moksha. When we go to our Shastras, moksha is not going somewhere. No. Moksha is something to get. No. Moksha is not something to get. It is our real Swarupa. And getting rid of all limitations imposed by ourselves because of ignorance, that is moksha. So having this goal in life, we are moving. But see, we are human beings. As human beings, you must know about the order of Purushartha. What is to be attained in life? That is Purushartha. So basically, the order of Purushartha is Kama, Artha, Dharma. Not regarding human beings, I am saying. When we look from the level of all beings, the first Purushartha is Kama. Kama is, say, I want to eat. Yeah. And when that requirement for eating is fulfilled, mating. So eating and mating, that comes first. That is the first Purushartha. And it is Kama. When these needs, this Kama is fulfilled, or aim up to a certain level, then comes the Artha. Artha is money, wealth. By Artha, currency is never meant. Some sort of wealth by which you can have Kama. Things for eating and mating. So you want that. Now when you get that, that is both Kama and Artha, then comes Dharma. That is when I am living here happily, I am getting all resources for my eating and mating, my fellow beings also must get that. That feeling. You just give a crystal of sugar to an ant. It will eat and go. But you pour down a handful of sugar, it will not eat. It will do a pradakshina there and go. After some half an hour, you will see a procession coming. They will take the whole sugar and will go in a line. So that means they have that Purushartha Dharma within. So Kama, Artha, Dharma. Now from the human perspective, from the standpoint of human being, it is just the reverse. Dharma, Artha and Kama. Because we are social beings. See, in other creatures, organic evolution is more important. But in human beings, our evolution is not organic evolution. It is psychic evolution, it is psychosocial evolution. And therefore, for human beings, the basic Purushartha is Dharma. So you must get money, you must get wealth, you must get resources in your life according to Dharma. And that resources you can enjoy. Enjoy means you can have Kama. So Dharma, Artha and Kama, that is the order to be followed in human life. If you are following that order, definitely, I have no doubt at all, our acharyas had no doubt that questions regarding this existence, what all this, the phenomenal world I am seeing around me or I am experiencing around me, what this is, Who is controlling all this? What is my goal in this life? How I will reach that? All these questions will come. Then only you are going to the fourth Purushartha, that is moksha. So, what I'm saying is, when we talk with the general public and especially youth, don't talk much about moksha and all to them. Instead of that, let them have a clear idea of dharma. Clear idea of dharma. And after that, they must have resources, physical resources, money, wealth and all. It's a must, because our society must have wealth. Our society must have money. So that money, wealth must come from dharma. And as that wealth are low, so you can have kama. This order we have to teach the world, teach the common people, because that is lacking nowadays. Then questions about moksha, that inclination towards that, it will quite naturally come if you are following a life of dharma.
Yeah.
You got the idea?
Yeah.
So for that is important when we speak, especially with the youngsters and the common society.
So Swamiji talked about how when youth go on that path, they have these questions about existence and all that. A lot of times when interacting, every Friday we have our Gita class at Western here at HSC, and a lot of the questions that come up are about what is God. Oftentimes in the world we think of a God as a person above that's controlling things, but Hinduism views that differently. So my question is twofold. It's how does Hinduism define what God or Bhagwan is? And another follow-up question to that is, a lot of times there's questions about karma, about why do seemingly bad things happen to innocent people, and people struggle to really grasp or understand that.
Yeah.
So how does Hinduism approach both of those topics?
That's a good question. Very good question. See, when we say God and all in English or other languages, it's all right, acceptable. We have to accept that when we travel, we are talking with different people from different linguistic background. But mainly you have to understand, in the Veda and Vedic literature, there are many terms which you cannot translate to any other language. So, because of the lack of a term, apt term, we are using different terms. Because when we speak about God, the idea that is coming to our mind is some powerful being who made the universe, who created this, and who is protecting this, and who will finally give the final judgment. So that idea naturally comes to our mind when we hear about God. Actually, when we speak Daivam or Deva, it carries entirely different meaning. Because that shabda comes from the root dhatu diva, effulgence, light. So what is giving existence to all, or that which is having self-effulgence, or on which everything else are existing? That is the meaning of Deva or Deva. You see, when we say we are existing, I am here, or you are there, that that existence absolute is there, on which everything else are manifesting, are sustaining, and unto which all are dissolving. So that existence absolute is called in Samskrita Sat. Sat. You must remember that. And for everything to happen, whether it is the movement within an atom, everything to happen, if there is an order, if there is a scheme, there must be a consciousness. Not the consciousness limited by our intellect, not that. Not that. A consciousness which we call Chit. So Sat Chit. And of course, the Ananda part is there, that is the bliss. This substratum on which all others are manifesting, or all the phenomenal play came into existence, that we call by the name Brahman or Paramatma. You can call Satchidananda. That is not something. That is not some creator or created. It is the existence which you cannot deny. The very existence on which everything else exists. So from that level, that is the ultimate reality. That is the ultimate reality. Now, you look to the world. All the manifestations from which this came. From which this came. So there must be a cause behind this. There must be some rule which is sustaining this. Because I am seeing a perfect order everywhere. Right from subatomic particle to the grossest universe, I am seeing a perfect order, a rhythm existing. So there must be some which you, it's not a person or something which is controlling or which is giving this order,
Like a set of rules.
Rule, or a scheme, that we call by the name Ishvara. You see, so this Brahman or Paramatma, the existence absolute, from that, when we try to explain the phenomenal world, then Ishvara. These two levels are there. Now you think, what is Ishvara? It is that existence absolute. Within that, the power to create, the power to protect, the power to dissolve, all are innate there. This innate power we are calling by the name Maya. So, absolute existence, its own innate power manifested, that is Maya manifested, means Ishvara. This is a very intricate topic. So you cannot say God like that, because there is no apt word in English. We also use the word God. But when we say God, a thought will come within you, an idea will come within you that is some power above. No. According to our Shastra, it is not some power above, it is not some power below. It is the very existence of everything. Asya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By that, everything else exists. That existence absolute is there, which you cannot deny or negate.
But then how do we explain, how does...
Karma.
Yeah, karma.
Karma, that is different.
Yeah.
You see, karma is different. So that is the concept of Brahman and Ishvara. Now, you can take another term in the Vedic literature, that is Devata. It is plural. It is not singular. Ishvara or Brahman is one without a second. There are no two Ishvaras. There are no two Brahman. It is non-dual principle. It is non-dual principle. But when you take Devata, there are multitude of Devatas. innumerable devatas. For example, each and every natural phenomena you are seeing, you are experiencing, if there must be some power behind that. Fire is there. So there must be something which is responsible for this manifestation as fire. If wind is there, we are accepting it as a devata. Sun is rising, we are accepting it as a devata. So all the natural phenomena and the rule behind that, we are calling by the name devata. So in the Veda, so many hundreds and hundreds, not hundreds, millions and millions of devatas are there. Many a time what happens, people misunderstand devata as Ishvara. And they will ask, how there can be so many Ishvaras? These Hindus are worshipping so many Ishvaras? No, there is only one Ishvara without a second. At the same time, there are innumerable devatas. As many phenomena are there, so many devatas will be there. You cannot count them. But through all these devatas, we are focusing, or we are what is meant through all these devatas, one ultimate reality is meant. It is very well explained by the great sage Yaska. In the Nirukta it is said, Ekasya Atmano Anye Devaha Pratyangani Bhavanti. That is, all the devatas are like parts or limbs of one Paramatma, one Ishvara. See that?
Yeah.
Now we can go to your next part of the question, that is karma. We are here with these instruments. We have this body, we have this mind, we have this intellect. So all these put together make your body. Body means gross and subtle. So this gross and subtle body we are having, and with this we are working. What we do with this body, mind, intellect, whether such activities we can perceive from the outer world, or which are that much subtle which we cannot perceive from the outer. For example, you are thinking. I cannot understand what you are thinking. But if you are taking that glass, then I will see that you are taking that glass. So in the gross activity and subtle activity, all this we are doing. Whatever activity we are doing, then and there itself, the samskara, that is, as the effect of such karma, the samskara will be inscribed. Inscriptions of that karma will be stored within you. All these are stored in the chitta. Now, that samskara will become vasana. Vasana is tendency. From this tendency, you must do. From that doing, again samskara, again vasana. This karma, samskara, vasana is going on and on. Always happening. See? So what you are doing, so samskara you are developing within you. And that is giving you the fruits. So you must not mix Ishvara with all these things. Some people will continuously complain, I do this puja, I was chanting the name of Ishvara, I did this karma, havan, homa, etc., but I am having this experience, bad experience in my life and all. You don't mix Ishvara with that. It is your karma which is bringing you the results of your karma, fruits of your karma. That we need not mix with Ishvara. There is the rule, as your karma, so your fruit will come. That rule is Ishvara. That you can call that rule is Ishvara. But you are getting the fruits of your own karma. In the individual level and in the social level. When you go to that topic karma, it is a vast field because different karmas are there.
So, Swamiji, we would like to wrap up today's podcast with a kind of rapid fire segment. As I'm sure you're aware, there's so much misinformation and so much things that really are twisted that are portrayed in the media. And a lot of times, we as Hindus, we don't know if, how to answer or address that misinformation. So, we have compiled a list of questions, and we just wanted to ask you, if you could give an answer to each question in 1 or 2 sentences,
Yeah.
just so we can understand why it is as it is, and B, if someone asks us these questions, we can give them an answer.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we'll start off with some social and cultural issue questions. Can you just quickly explain, the caste system and how it's supposed to be and why it's the way it is?
See, caste system, now what I'm seeing is the media and many so-called what you can call, I will call them anti-samskara people, anti-dharma people, I will call them, are making so many wrong narratives. When we speak about dharma or sanadana, immediately they pounce on you with casteism, this, that. No. Varna system is not caste system. And everywhere in the world, in the past, so many divisions based on color, work, financial status, so many were existing in the past. But all those were the results of ignorance. In the Sanatana Dharma, you cannot see, when you go to the Vedic teaching, any division based on birth or like that. You go to Shastras. No, those are wrong narratives. On that we can have a talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our next question would be, what is the role? So we see a lot in countries where women are not treated the same as men, and there's a very huge narrative that Hindu women are treated as second class, but the religion itself worships goddesses. Do you have any comments on that?
See, it is utter nonsense saying that. Because we are considering women as the very manifestation of Ishvara. In no other religion in the world, the feminine Ishvara is there. Our Veda we are considering as Shruti Bhagavati. And the very Ishvara of knowledge is Saraswati, power is Durga, wealth is Lakshmi, and all that. And there is no Mr. and Mrs. in India, in Bharat. There is only Mrs. and Mr. We do not know Rama Sita. We know Sita Rama. Parvati Parameshwara. Always we are putting women on the first place. Well explained by Manu, Yatra Naryastu Pujyande Ramante Tattva Devataha, where women are worshipped, respected. There only deities will bestow boon on you. That is the Bharatiya concept. And you go to Veda itself, in the Rig Veda you can see women warriors. In the Rig Veda itself, women warriors. And see, centuries before, many countries were thinking about giving freedom of voting and etc. to women. So many rulers were there. You can see in the Dihasas and Puranas.
A common thing that people, another question is, a common thing people use to push that narrative is that when Lord Rama, at the end of the Ramayana, there was an Agni Pariksha for Sita Ma. And then there's also when she made Sita go through the fire. And there's also a thing when Rama finally came back from Ayodhya, Sita and Rama's unborn kids at the time were exiled. people often use that to push that narrative that women aren't treated properly in Hinduism. What was the reason for those things? Is it like, why did Lord Rama, this ideal person, make those decisions?
See, you cannot measure or evaluate happenings of thousands and thousands years back with the lens of today's society or social visions. If you go to Bible or if you go to Quran, the same you will see. You cannot evaluate something happened thousands and thousands of years back with the lens of today's social vision. So if you are studying Ramayana, you must go to the rules and regulations which were prevalent in those days. Rama was depicted in the Valmiki Ramayana as the very personification, embodiment of dharma. There's no doubt at all. And why Sita had to pass through Agni Pariksha? That was essential for a king in those days, not a common man. If you are a common man, such stringent tests are not essential. But for a king to be a role model in front of the whole country, he had to follow the Dharma Shastras or Niti Shastras. Rama did that. Happily, Sita did that. Happily. And she was that much pure. She came up. She came up. And many are saying, criticizing Rama, he abandoned Sita in the forest even after knowing she was pure. See, you have to go and read Valmiki Ramayana, that part. There was two aspects, Rama the husband and Rama the king. When the Mukhya Dharma and Gauna Dharma contradict with each other, for a man to follow Dharma, what you have to do? There is only one way, follow Mukhya Dharma and renounce Gauna Dharma. That Rama did. That was the only way for him as a king. Otherwise, taking the individuality as a husband, as Mukhya, he and Sita can go out of the palace and live together happily. But Tejadegam Kulasyarthe, that was the rule of those days. So Rama measured, evaluated what is my Mukhya Dharma. Dharma of a husband or Dharma of a king. It was Dharma of a king. So he accepted that. And you can see Rama, the husband, crying and crying. He was a king. He was an emperor. But he was living the life of like a mendicant. Rishi Munivrado Bhud Munisevidangri, so says Ramayana. So he was living like that. He didn't marry. He didn't marry again. But the King Rama, he was stubborn. There was no doubt within him. So this, when the Mukhya Dharma and Gauna Dharma contradict, you cannot follow both. You have to get rid of one. Which one? The Gauna Dharma. Rama did that. So you have to understand that. See, what about the American Constitution? I don't know. I am not, or Canadian Constitution, I don't know much. But Indian Constitution, it came into existence in 1950, January 26. That is only 76 years back. Within this short period of 76 years, more than 130 amendments came. What to speak of some law or regulations of society prevalent in thousands and thousands of years back? So there is no meaning in looking at that with the lens of today's social norms.
So there's a verse in the Ramayana, and it speaks about using the forces of Dandav against, or not against, but with women, Shudras, and the people who aren't following. Now, typically Tandav is taken to mean you have to beat them, right? I understand that that's not the way that that's supposed to be translated.
There is no such a verse in Ramayana.
This is a question that comes to Hindus a lot.
No, there is no such a saying in Ramayana. You cannot see. Not at all.
So it's just, okay.
Not at all.
So it's
Because
this is misinformation.
Yeah.
Spread.
Yeah. See, many things which were written in some other smritis, they will bring, because they are written in Samskrita, and they will cling it with the Shastras. That is absurd. There is no such a verse in Ramayana. I'm sure.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so on topic of twisting words and people pushing these narratives, another thing people say is Lord Krishna's relation with the gopis.
Yeah.
He had 1,600 wives. I'm probably getting that number wrong, but the people say that Lord Krishna's relation with the gopis, it promotes promiscuousness or cheating and stuff like that.
What is the Lord Krishna's relation with gopis? They happily enjoyed that. At that age, what was the age of Krishna? He was lesser than 11 years.
Yeah.
So a boy playing with his friends, dancing with them, singing them, what is wrong in that? Huh? You can do that in the streets today.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Krishna enjoyed that life and all the gopis enjoyed. What is wrong with you? He was only lesser than 12 years because at the age of 12, Krishna killed Kamsa. So before that, all these play with gopis happened. So he may be at the age of 11 or 10 then. All friends were playing, dancing, singing. Of course, some may be loving somebody. If you are that much handsome and cute, many will be loving you. Huh? And he satisfied them all. Krishna satisfied them all. What is wrong in that? I cannot understand. Huh?
People often try and distort that image of like a loving childhood and it's fun friendship as in the child saying, "Oh, how can a god do such thing?" But it's just God having fun with his friends and all that.
You see, that all are misconceptions of yours, misconception regarding God. What you are thinking, God is some superhuman thing? No. When God is coming as an incarnation among the human being, he will play the best human drama, you see. The best human drama he will play. That Sri Krishna played. Never Sri Krishna cried. Always he was enjoying this life. And he showed to the human society how to enjoy.
Another final question.
You got that?
Yeah. Another question I have is about itihasa, right? Oftentimes when people refer to Hinduism, they say it's mythology. It's not real. Could Swamiji quickly just explain what itihasa is? And
Itihasas are shastras which were written to explain Veda with the help of the biographies of many, many great personalities. So, for example, the Vedic mantra, Dharmam Chara, you follow Dharma. It is there. So, to explain that, the life of Rama was brought in and explained. Of course, there are so many stories, so many mythological aspects combined with that. In the Itihasas, there are stories, there are parables, there are great piece of teachings. Many things are there. Of course, mythology also is there. Many mythical aspects are there. But Itihasa as a whole is not a mythological thing. It is a see, from generation to generation, so many stories of legends were passed on. So like that, the story of Rama, story of Krishna, all these are there and all these constitute itihasas. To explain the teachings of Veda, when you are taking such biographies, then it is itihasa. For example, Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samubhabrahmayet. There's a saying. It is a saying from Mahabharata. That is, with the help of Itihasa, you please explain Veda. So to explain Veda to the common society, you are taking the life of great legends. That is Itihasa. We have two Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata. Both are the same. Lives of so many legends.
So my final question is, Hinduism is sometimes seen as a primitive and a anti-scientific religion, right? Could you please just comment on that? And if that is something that you're faced with, that you feel that Hinduism might be anti-science or against science, could you just comment quickly on that?
See, all our Shastras, right from Veda, Upanishads, Itihasa, Purana, Dharma Shastra, all are in the form of questions and answers. Mm-hmm. Why? Where there is scientific temper, where there is logical thinking, there only you will allow questions and answers. If it is faith-based, you will not allow questions and answers. What I am teaching you, you have to accept. Believe, believe and believe. Don't question. That is the way of thinking which are against science. But all our Shastras are written in the form of questions and answers. That is the first point. Second, you see that scientific and all-encompassing vision. For example, we call that sage who explained the intricate principles of Ishvara, Badarayana, by the name Maharshi. At the same time, we called Charvaka, who denied the very existence of Ishvara, by the name Maharshi. Mm. See, while respectfully we called Badarayana Maharshi, the same Maharshi term we gave to Charvaka, who denied the very existence of Ishvara. Now you see Ayurveda Shastra, Charaka and Sushruta, who wrote the greatest text of Ayurveda, medical science, or mathematics, like our Bhaskaracharya, and so many great mathematicians, and see scientists of Yana Tantra. Yana Tantra is making these vehicles and all. So many, we called everybody by the name Maharshi. So, and you are saying Hinduism is against science. You see, all the science are part of Veda, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda. Dhanurveda is making these arms. Their metallurgy comes. And Rasavidya comes. Different types of weapons. How to make all this. Then there is the Sthapatya Veda. Sthapatya Veda is the movement of air, fire in this earth, and how to make different types of buildings. And you will wonder, seeing the temples made thousands and thousands years back, even now, standing, based on this Shastra. And then the science of music and dance, Gandharva Veda. Then Arthashastra, the science of economics, political science, statistics and commerce. And having all these, you are calling Hindu Dharma as anti-science. What nonsense this is. See, all these were the creations of the children of Max Muller and Macaulay, I will say. You got the idea?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about Vedanta and Sanatana Dharma, it is a science in itself. It is science. It's inherently science. Yeah.
You see, there is a question in the Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam bhavati. Oh teacher, knowing which I will know everything. Yeah. This was the question. Knowing which I will know everything. Then there the Acharya says, Dve vidye vedidavye itihasmayad brahmavido vadandi parachaiva paracha. You have to know two streams of knowledge. One is the knowledge regarding the observed, and the other is the knowledge regarding the observer. When both these knowledge are together in a happy blend, then it is knowledge. So you are running behind the objects of the world. Of course, it is required. That knowledge we must have. But along with that, the knowledge about the observer also must be there. This is the vision our Rishis gave. And see how scientific it is. Yeah. And it is said by Valmiki Maharshi himself, if Brahma appears in front of you and he teach something illogical, you must throw it like grass. And if a small child come and teach you on the basis of science and logic, you must accept that. Yukti yuktam upadeyam vachanam balakadapi anyat trinam ivatyajyam apyuktam patmajanmana. That is the thought pattern we have. Yeah. You learn Bhagavad Gita. After teaching the whole of Gita, Bhagavan says, Iti te jnanamakhyatam guhyat guhyataram maya vimrishyeta dasheshena yadhechasi tatha kuru. Hey Arjuna, I gave you almost all teachings from Veda. Now it is up to you. You do a critical study, do a critical analysis, and after a proper criticism, what you deem fit, so you do. So this is the scientific attitude. Even after having all this, you are criticizing Hindu Dharma is anti-science. What nonsense it is. It is, I need not answer.
Yes. On the topic of going with the scientific approach, when we talk about Sanatana Dharma, it's almost like an ocean of knowledge. It's very vast. Yeah. And for a beginner, it's hard to get started. The hardest part of painting is putting the first drops on the canvas. As someone who is, if I'm a beginner and I want to get into Sanatana Dharma with the scientific approach, what resources do I approach? How do I get started and get on this path towards my self-realization?
See, I will say, for the youth, you read Swami Vivekananda. Everything is positive in him. And even now, words of Swami Vivekananda will enter the heart of youth. You cannot resist that. Then you will get one by one, scientifically, what the ideas and ideals of Sanatana Dharma are. Slowly from there you can step on to second, third, fourth, fifth, like that, stages. So that study you do. Observe the world around you. This is the greatest book to learn. The experience we are getting from this. And try to analyze it with the help of the knowledge you get from scriptural studies. Without proper study, you must not criticize anything. To be a referee in cricket, you must know more than the player. To be a referee in football, you must know more than the player.
It's through knowledge that you overcome the ignorance.
Yeah. Without proper study, you cannot criticize this treasure which you didn't even open. So try to open it and see what much wealth is there in the Sanatana Dharma Shastras and how much practical it is and how it will show the real path to the most modern world of today and tomorrow.
Thank you, Swami.
Namaste, 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 namaste.